Hey, happy Saturday. Overdue blog, overdue story time. So come chill and watch how I do, the ins and outs of what I got to do today. I, for some reason, don't be liking to do laundry. I used to love doing laundry. I used to fold the laundry. I used to the snuggle, the dryer sheets. I loved it, the whole process and the smell. But going, I don't know if my body changing, I guess to the weight or something, or the back and the knees. But going to the laundromat in my complex is a task, and I'm just gonna bring it, the transparency. We let you know what's going on. So it is what time? And this is a part of exercise for me. This is an exercise. This is a duty, a task. I have 3 big loads to do. It's 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm tapping back in the game. It's kind of chilly out today. Let me see. That's my little bin thing over there, and I'm bringing my little bag with me, and I'm bringing my little gadget. I hope y'all can hear me clearly. Um, Hope y'all tuning in. Y'all gonna catch the vibe. Everything is going on. Let me see if I can put this on the stand. That way I could grab everything. I put my little stuff in a little bag. I got my water. See, I got my glasses. You might could write some songs like the laundromat. Let's see how you doing. See that? Okay. Give me some more water. Whew. It's been a doozy. I'm supposed to try to get in contact with the lady. I have bought the Fab. I don't know what happened to her. I emailed her. She haven't responded yet for some body scrub. I had already had this. It's like a 3-pack she had gave me. This is called lemon sugar. But I love the vanilla bean marshmallow. Oh my God. That vanilla bean marshmallow is good, but let's see how it is. Whew. That vanilla bean marshmallow. Oh my God. That had me smelling delicious. You know what I'm saying? I like to mix it with some Vaseline, or I like to mix it with some shea butter or something like that. Put it on. Smelling lemony. Mm, mm, mm. Working on some more promo, advertising little things, slowly but surely. The credit score went down because I applied for like mad loans but didn't get approved. It's too many inquiries, so I'm done. I'm gonna take the class off. I'm done right now for applying to any car loans and stuff. Like I said last time, doing stuff to save for this hoopty. I bought me a gas can. I need to buy me a car cover. So I want to get into medical carrier, doing like picking up blood specimens and dropping it off. What else? Little things like that. That's less than 25 pounds because I can't lift nothing currently heavier than that. And even with that, consistency with that is different. But we're gonna build it up consistently. I need to do that. So, let me see. Pack up everything. This phone, this other phone in charge. Somebody called me in here. Somebody called me in here, but oh, Beverly, what you doing? Oh, vending. March 22nd. It's too late. Today is March 22nd, Beverly. Shame on you. Rare Power Marketplace has a gang of vendors from food to fashion to beauty toys. Pull up and buy products you could never find at the Arab store. Entry free. The vibes will be memorable. It's too late, man. Last minute stuff, man. I'm not with it, bruh. She's too slow at this one, man. Good Lord. I just literally turned on my phone. This other phone. This is my business consulting line. Just for that. Yeah. So yeah. I know I said I was gonna do another line for y'all, which is a common one you can put out there. But right now I really don't have nothing to call in. I was playing around for that time. It smells so lemony. All right, let me get up so you can see. And we about to get up out of here and go to this thing and put my glasses on. So, get up. Got my bag from my old coworker. Her daughter had. I'll be keeping stuff. Hope I got everything. Put this in the dirty laundry. I'm gonna sit this in the dirty laundry bag so it don't fall. Can't afford no phone. Can't afford nothing to be breaking here. Got my card, laundry card. I'm gonna put this, cover it. It's gonna be too much. Not too much. All right. I knock these laundry out. Come along with me. Open up the door. I like this type of Vaseline. All right. Oh, take some paper towel with me, just in case my nose start running. And here we go. Whoa. It's trying to fall. Push this thing here. There. No falling. Ooh, this sound breezy. Whoa. It is breezy out here. Windy. But the laundry must get done. Alright. Open up, open up, open up, open up, open up, open up, open up. Ooh. Okay. Start over here. Yes, we made it. Okay. Well, this here. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Put my bag over here. Alright. Start with this one. Oh. I got me a laundry bag. Kit. I call it a laundry kit. I'm gonna show y'all what I got in my laundry kit. Because people is something else. I'll give y'all some game as well. So, in my laundry kit, these are my dryer sheets. These bottles, because I had water last time. But in here, I put bleach in there. I use this right now. And then I use this. Put this on the side. You see it? It's not going for the wash. This is oxy powder. My little portion in there. And sometimes I use this too. I use it just in case I run out. I told you, got 3 big loads. I do. Where's the little scooper at? Where's my scooper? There we go. My scooper. So, yeah, leave that up there. You see, this one's open. Okay. Starting putting clothes in there. Try to do 2 clothes at the same time. You see how many steps we took on this Fitbit. Last night, I didn't want to act like it wanted to charge. So we did 248 steps. Got to get more active, man. Usually, I start tapping out around 2,000 steps lately. I need to bring that back up. Endurance needs to be strong. Back need to be strong. Heart need to be strong. Body need to be strong. Legs, everything. Now, I got a dryer at home. Thank God. They will let you have a dryer for me. But usually they don't want you to have all that in the complex because I guess people messed up messing up water, like messing up the water, like the overflow in the kitchen or something. So I guess to prevent water damage and stuff, so they don't want you to have wash and dry in the complex. So yeah, what's going on right there? Y'all hear me clearly? Leave your comments and let me know if you hear it clear. You know what I'm saying? And let me know in the comments what's your laundry detergent and your process you use. You know? So with the dryer, this might be too much information, but we keep it raw and cutting over here. So what saves me a lot is I wash my underclothes on my hands at home to buy me some time. So I get to the laundromat. So I got the dryer there. So that be saving me some time. But the heavy clothes, the bedding, the sheets, towels, all that need to come to here in the main clothes. Shirts, hoodies, t-shirts, pants, business casual. Even sometimes I wash my sneakers here too. Wash my sneakers and I let them air dry. Yep. Certain sneakers I'll dry them back in the day, but what I had learned is the rubber on the bottom of it. It make the ink, the whatever that's holding it together at the bottom not stick no more. So I'd rather let it air dry. Wash it at the laundromat and let it air dry. So that's how JJP do their little process with the laundry. I was taught at the young age to learn how to do chores. My mom was like, and I had a lot of god sisters and stuff. And but my mom taught me firsthand. She taught me and my niece firsthand how to do this stuff. I don't know what Giovanna Brown be doing lately, but I'm pretty sure she ain't forgot how to wash the laundry. So the way my mom had that ingrained in us, we used to spend whole Saturday at the laundry and my nose is dripping. Woo. Woo, Lord. Sometimes we used to do the city, and then we used to go way out. I used to love. A long time I didn't understand it, but it used to be so peaceful going way out. It wouldn't be crowded in the hood. So you should start in the hood. Then over time, she used to take us. We used to take a cab or a family member. Most of the time we had a car. She had a leased car then. And we used to go way out. We used to go to Webster. We used to go to Buffalo Road. And then she used to change it up. Make it adventurous in a way. Used to be Buffalo Road used to have like big lots and stuff. And it used to be real fun. Because we used to be able to shop for the house. We used to be doing one thing, one place, and at that time, used to be a Eckerd's pharmacy out there. How many of y'all remember Eckerd's? Used to be a Eckerd's out there in that plaza in Buffalo Road. Used to go to Eckerd's. Used to go to this store called Mom and Me and shop for there for some stuff for my niece. Cause I helped my mom take care of my niece fresh out the hospital. That's the first child I ever took care of, like my own. She came straight from the hospital, so tiny, sickly baby. And this thing, this towel, break this up. So, dry it up and pull this out. Yeah, that in there. But yeah, so laundry. I know a lot of things. Thank God, because a lot of women these days, moms not teaching their kids how to survive, how to do personal hygiene stuff. I low key later on want to do something like that. They need to know. They need to know how to do stuff in order, how to keep paperwork, their documents, so it'll be ready at all times. And bring back the purse. The purse has been the all-in-one bag for many mothers and aunties and grandmas. I'm down with a big purse. That's what I got. I got a big purse there at home. I got all kind of stuff in it. Hand sanitizer, pens, chargers, or a book bag or something. I know some moms be on the bus and stuff, so it'd be a lot. But either all the way around, you need to have that. Even for your own personal stuff, especially when you commute on the bus. These days, people be thinking they want to pack light, but you need to have that on you. And I know people job is getting they don't be having a one thing I didn't like when jobs don't be having they start having the lockers. Some jobs do still have it, but some people don't have a space. When I used to work at Speedway, they didn't have a locker space. You had to just put it in the office, in the manager's office, the little space. So I used to have my backpack. One thing I hated a thief. So I hate a thief. So, but thank God I had nothing of value. Only one time at the job, I felt like somebody went in my bag and went in my wallet and see if I had any money. That's one thing I always used to do. I never had no money. I always paid out where I need to go, so left over or whatever. I'm very, very responsible when I have money. Very good planner, budgeter. And that's another thing my mom taught me, and I ain't know. She had taught me how to handle business. I was talking to my other friend a while back, like from middle school. Our mom taught us how to handle business at a young age. And for her, she had to handle her mom business at an early age because she was sickly a lot too. So she knows a lot more. Me, I learned in-house. I didn't leave the house. I never left the house, actually. I stayed and lived with my mom till the end. I had a job and stuff, but we always worked together. My friend I'm talking about, P Money, she had to leave home early, like, 17, 16 or something she had left home. She had to stay with her friend, etc. Okay, I'm gonna wait for that. This is good enough. It's a bedding. So put the liquids in there now. Let me see what we gonna do first. Get my liquids. Yeah, so having older parents. We both have older parents. Put that there. Okay, the liquid. Yeah, them fans at Cowboy song. Got people listen to that. It's mad catchy too. I love it too. Alright. Get the card. Normal wash. Press. Okay, one down. 38 minutes. The next one. Just that one. Okay. Alright. Now we gotta get this bedding. But yeah. That's what my son. Ooh. It's a lot of hair in there. Like pet hair and stuff. I don't know if I want to put that in there. Yikes. That's even more worse. I'm gonna wait. Let's see. Nah. See this big washer. Let's see if this big washer washes cover. Or should I just wait? Oh man. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Cause I don't like all that hair in there I just seen. That's crazy. You need to wash it. You wanna take a little break? Oh, here we go. Take this hoodie off. Starting to heat up. Just right here. My bag. So we cut this dirt. Show you that this sucker roll. Still working on music. Got 2 projects out right now. Raw and Uncut Volume 4. Raw and Uncut Volume 4. Raw and Uncut Sessions Volume 4. And On the Tones Volume 1.4. Out now on all streaming platforms by Jocelyn Jackson. That's JOSALYN. Okay? Okay? And so, yeah. I should have brought a towel or something for this sweat. Okay. Let me put that back in there. Oh, you can keep one for the nose. Feel like it's about to drip, drip, dribble, drip, 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 drip. Here we go. I want to get him put this down. I want to get something to drink. See my bag. Here's what I got in my bag. This is what I got. I got my sanitizer. I have an ink pen. I have a highlighter. I have a bottle of water. I have my new book I was going to be reading. my notepad with my songs and my different stuff, my Bible scriptures I'm writing, reading and writing. We got another pen. Leave that there. Oh, I got another pen in there. And my battery pack. And my charging cord from my Android, but I needed to bring my cord for this iPhone that we recording on. But it'll be alright. So yeah. That's what's going on. Y'all wanted me to read y'all this book? Some of this book here? I could do that for y'all. Huh. I got some dinner, gonna be some. I got fish in the refrigerator, marinating tilapia fish. I might have fish and grits for dinner. Yesterday I had pizza. I had pizza and just had a vegetable pizza. I had a multi-peppers, artichoke, spinach, and chicken breast on my pizza yesterday. And I had tuna salad. I made homemade tuna salad. So that's what I had yesterday. You should try it. It was delicious. Simple and delicious. I use mayonnaise. I don't use that Miracle Whip. I don't know for that. Or that Kraft. Whatever it is. I don't like that. Hellman's. Give me Hellman's mayonnaise in the generic brand anytime. Anything. So if you don't like Hellman's, when I have my event one day, I want to have an event. And I told Mouse the kid out what the name gonna be, everything. If you don't like mayonnaise, Hellman's, you don't do that other stuff. I forgot what it's called. We don't do that one. All right, let's read this. Oh, let me get something to drink. Get something to drink here. And I also had to get some more Bluetooth headphones because these is better. These light up. Walmart.com was on sale. Okay, so this book is about finance, investing, and smart thinking. So let me see, what's his name? Okay, so this book is called The Psychology of Money. If you know me, I love making money. I love the way the process of money, how it works, etc., how to build wealth, etc. All things business and self-development, growth, and etc. So this book is called The Psychology of Money. It's by Morgan Housel. Housel. Morgan Housel. It says Timeless Lessons of Wealth, Greed, and Happiness by Morgan Housel. So I ain't gonna read the first part. I already did that. But I put the little thing in there to stop it. Here, see that? Oh, I got bookmarks for sale too. But I'll let y'all know. And it says a quote. It says, "A genius is the man who can do the average thing when everyone else around him is losing his mind." That's Napoleon. Then he says, "The world is full of obvious things which nobody by any chance ever observes." Deep. That was by Sherlock Holmes, that quote. All right, here's the introduction. The introduction, the greatest show on earth. I spent my college years working as a valet at a nice hotel in Los Angeles. One frequent guest was a technology executive. He was a genius, having designed and patented a key component in Wi-Fi routers in his 20s. He had started and sold several companies. He was wildly successful. He also had a relationship with money I describe as a mix of insecurity and childish stupidity. He carried a stack of $100 bills, several inches thick. He showed it to everyone who wanted to see it, and many who didn't. He bragged openly and loudly about his wealth, often while drunk and always, what? Always apropos? Apropos. What's that? I wonder what that word means. I don't got my other phone, so I gotta circle this word. I'm gonna circle it. I might use it in my music or something. Circle that. Always a purpose of nothing. It's the word is apropos. One day, he handed one of my colleagues several $1,000s of cash and said, "Go to the jewelry store down the street and get me a few $1,000 gold coins." And an hour later, wait. An hour later, gold coins in hand, the tech executive and his buddies gathered around by a dock overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Then they proceeded to throw the coins into the sea, skipping them like rocks, cackling as they argued whose went furthest, just for fun. Days later, he shattered a lamp in the hotel's restaurant. A manager told him it was a $500 lamp and he'd have to replace it. What's the date? It's March. I like to mark my books the date I started reading them, so I keep track of the page. This is why I prefer hard books instead of the ebooks, because you can't really mark them. Like I still got a whole bunch of ebooks on my phone, but I don't really read them like that all the way. Like some of them I did, but I'm more concerned with these. So, in fact, I can't be on to having an ebook on my phone and be recording a video, so it's kind of convenient. So, okay, page 2. You want $500? The executive asks incredulously. The word is INCREDULOUSLY. Which, wait, no, I'm messing up. I'm gonna start over. You want $500? The executive asks incredulously, while pulling a brick of cash from his pocket and handling. Wait a minute. Oh shoot! While pulling a brick of cash from his pocket and handing it to the manager. Here's 500. Whoa, I'm messing up. I'm moving too fast. Here's $5,000. Now get out of my face and don't ever insult me like that again. And you may wonder how long this behavior could last. And the answer was not long. I learned years later that he went broke. The premise of this book is that doing well with money has little to do with how smart you are, and a lot to do with how you behave. Ooh, really? Okay, let me get this, okay? And behavior is hard to teach, even to really smart people. Okay, we gotta highlight that. A genius who loses control of their emotions can be a financial disaster. The opposite is also true. Ordinary folks with no financial education can be wealthy if they have a handful of behavioral skills that have nothing to do with formal measures of intelligence. Oh, wow. My favorite Wikipedia entry begins, Ronald James Reed was an American philanthropist, investor, janitor, and gas station. Whoa! Are you serious? I work at the gas station too. I just told you I used to work at the gas station. Speedway gas station. I did a janitor job too. That was the hardest job. Oh my God, that was back-breaking work. But I thank God for it. The lady had found me that job. But I didn't keep it because she agreed to take me out to Webster. The job was way out in Webster. But I had to clean the cubicles and all that. I was barely making it. Talking about exercise and hard work. I had to work that job from 4 p.m. to 1:30 in the morning. Mm-mm-mm. Sister was tired. Barely could get up, move around. Let me see. Let me see. Ronald Red was born in rural Vermont. He was the first person in his family to graduate high school and made all the more impressive by the fact that he hitchhiked to campus each day. Talking about will and determination. Salute to you, Ronald Reed. Wow. For those who knew Ronald Reed, there wasn't much else worth mentioning. His life was about as low key as they come. Reed fixed cars at a gas station for 25 years, swept floors at JCPenney's for 17 years. He bought a two-bedroom house for $12,000 at the age of 38 and lived there for the rest of his life. He was widowed at age 50 and never remarried. A friend recalled that his main hobby was chopping firewood. Reed died in 2014 at the age of 92. I aim to live to 92. I got to get it together so I can live like that. A prosperous, top quality of life at 92, which is when the humble rural janitor made international headlines. 2,813,503 Americans died in, wait, not dollars, I'm messing up. 2,813,503 Americans died in 2014. Fewer than 4,000 of them had a net worth of $8 million when they passed away. Ronald Reed was one of them. In his will, the former janitor left $2 million to his stepkids and more than $6 million to his local hospital and library. Those who knew Reed were baffled. Where did he get all that money? It turned out there was no secret. There was no lottery win and no inheritance. Reed saved what little he could and invested it in blue chip stocks. Ooh, blue chip stocks? Okay. I gotta check that out. Then he waited for decades on end as tiny savings compound into more than 8 million. Ooh. That's it. From janitor to philanthropist. Okay, let's go. Okay. A few months before Ronald Reed died, another man named Richard was in the news. Richard Foscone. Foscone is spelled Fuscone. Richard Foscone. Was everything Ronald Reed was not. Was everything Ronald Reed was not. A Harvard-educated Merrill Lynch executive with an MBA. Foscone had a successful, highlight the name. MBA. Foscone had a successful career in finance that he retired in his 40s to become a philanthropist. Former Merrill CEO David Kominski praised Foscone's business savvy, leadership skills, sound judgment, and personal integrity. Crane's Business magazine once included him in a 40 under 40 list of successful business people. But then, like the gold coin skipping tech executive, everything fell apart. In the mid-2000s, Foscone borrowed heavily to expand an 18,000 square foot home in Greenwich, Connecticut that had 2 bathrooms, 2 elevators, 2 pools, 7 garages, and cost more than $90,000 a month to maintain. Then the 2008 financial crisis hit. The crisis hurt virtually everyone's finances. It apparently turned Foscone's into dust. High debt, illiquid assets left him bankrupt. I currently have no income, he alleged, told a bankruptcy judge in 2008. First, his Palm Beach house was foreclosed. In 2014, it was the Greenwich Mansion's turn. 5 months before Ronald Reed left his fortune to charity. 5 months before Ronald Reed left his fortune to charity. Put this in here. Mark my date in here. This book is good, y'all. This page 4. Let me get some water on this one. I like this right here. 20 minutes on the wash. Okay, here we go. Richard Foscome's home, where guests recalled the thrill of dining and dancing atop a see-through covering on the home's indoor swimming pool, was sold in a foreclosure auction for 75% less than the insurance company figured it was worth. Ronald Reed was patient. Richard Foscombe was greedy. Oh, I think I'm more like Ronald Reed. Richard Foscombe was greedy. That's all it took to eclipse the massive education and experience gap between the two. The lesson here is not to be more like Ronald and less like Richard. Oh, okay. Though that's not bad advice. The fascinating thing about these stories is how unique they are to finance. In what other industry does someone with no college degree, no training, no background, no formal experience, and no connections massively outperform someone with the best education, the best training, the best connections? I struggle to think of any. It is impossible to think of a story about Ronald Reed performing a heart transplant better than a Harvard trained surgeon, or designing a skyscraper superior to the best trained architects. There will never be a story of a janitor outperforming the world's top nuclear engineers. But these stories do happen in investing. Okay. Hmm. The fact that Ronald Reed can coexist with Richard Foscombe has two explanations. One, financial outcomes are driven by luck, independent of intelligence and effort. That's true to some extent, and this book will discuss it in further details. Or two, and I think more common, that financial success is not a hard science. It's a soft skill where how you behave is more important than what you know. I call this soft skill the psychology of money. Okay, I need to learn it. Let me go. Let me learn it. Let me learn it. Let me learn it. I need to become it. I need to become. Okay. The aim of this book is to use short stories to convince you that soft skills are more important than the technical side of money. I'll do this in a way that will help everyone, from Reed to Foscone and everyone in between, make better financial decisions. We working on it. We working on it. These soft skills are, I've come to realize, greatly unappreciated. Finance is overwhelmingly taught as math-based field, where you put a data into a formula and the formula tells you what to do. And it's assumed that you'll just go do it. This is true in personal finance, where you're told to have a 6-month emergency fund and save 10% of your salary. It's true in investing. It's true in investing where we know the exact historical correlations between interest rates and valuations. Valuations is valuations. And it's true in corporate finance, where CFOs can measure the precise cost of capital. It's not that any of these things are bad or wrong. It's that knowing what to do tells you nothing about what happens in your head when you try to do it. It's that knowing what to do tells you nothing about what happens in your head when you try to do it. Okay. Two topics impact everyone, whether you are interested in them or not. Health and money. This is true. I just said I need to be healthy. Live to see 92. The healthcare industry is a triumph of modern science, with rising life expectancy across the world. Scientific discoveries have replaced doctors' old ideas about how the human body works, and virtually everyone is healthier because of it. The money industry, investing, personal finance, business planning is another story. Finances has scoped up the smartest things coming from top universities over the last 2 decades. Financial engineering was the most popular major Princeton School of Engineering a decade ago. Is there any evidence? Is there any evidence it has made us better investors? I've seen none. Through the collective trial and error over the years, we've learned how to become better farmers, skilled plumbers, and advanced chemists. But has trial and error taught us to become better with our personal finances? Are we less likely to bury ourselves in debt? More likely to save for a rainy day? Prepare for retirement? Have realistic views about what money does and doesn't do to our happiness? I've seen no compelling evidence. Most of the reason why I believe is that we think about and are taught about money in ways that are too much like physics, with rules and laws, and not enough like psychology, with emotions and nuisance. And and to that and that wait, wait, wait. And that to me is is as fascinating as it is important. Money is everywhere. It affects all of us and confuses most of us. Everyone thinks about it a little differently. It offers lessons of things that apply to many areas of life, like risk, confidence, and happiness. For real, I was my confident self when I used to have a job. That you can't tell me nothing. And I was happy. I could have got paid all my bills, and I felt like still, I know the money was gonna come back because I'm working and money coming back, money coming back, money coming back. It was nothing to me. I'm trying to. They talking about, oh, you need to feel like money without it. You need to learn how to feel like $1 million without it. So I'm like, I'm trying to do that, but I ain't gonna hold you. I've been doing better, but it's no joke. It's no joke at all. Here we go. So it says, few topics offer a more powerful signifying glass that helps explain why people behave the way they do, than money. It is one of the greatest shows on earth. My own appreciation for the psychology of money is shaped by more than a decade of writing on the topic. I began writing about finances in early 2008. It was the dawn of a financial crisis and the worst recession in 80 years. To write about what was happening, I wanted to figure out what was happening. But the first thing I learned after the financial crisis was that no one could accurately explain what happened and why it happened, let alone what should be done about it. For every good explanation, there was an equally convincing rebuttal. Engineers can determine the cause of a bridge collapse between there is agreement that if a certain amount of force is applied to a certain area, that area will break. Physics isn't controversial. It's guided by laws. Finance is different. It's guided by people's behaviors. And how I behave might make sense to me, but look crazy to you. The more I studied and the more about financial crisis, the more I studied and wrote about the financial crisis, the more I realized that you could understand it better through the lenses of psychology and history and not finance. You can understand it better through the lenses of psychology and history, not finances. To grasp why people bury themselves in debt, you don't need to study interest rates. You need to study the history of greed, insecurity, and optimism. I feel like I'm an optimist. Let me see. Insecurity. To get why investors sell out at the bottom of a bear market, you don't need to study the math of expected future returns. You need to think about the agony of looking at your family and wondering if your investments are impairing their future. I gotta look that word up. Imperiling, Imperling. I love Valator's observation. That history never repeats itself. Man always does. Ooh, okay, Elzabar. It applies so well to how we behave with money. In 2018, I wrote in a report outlining 20 of the most important flaws, biases, and causes of bad behavior I've seen affect people when dealing with money. It was called The Psychology of Money, and over 1 million people have read it. This book is a deeper dive into the topic. Some short passages from the report appear unauthored in this book. What you're holding is 20 chapters, each describing what I consider to be the most important and often counterintuitive features of the psychology of money. The chapters revolve around a common theme, but exist on their own and can be read independently. It's not a long book. You're welcome. Most readers don't finish the books they begin because most single topics don't require 300 pages of explanation. I'd rather make 20 short points you finish than one long one you give up on. On we go. Yes, on we go, sir. Put my date on here. That's page 7. I read page 7. Let me go to page. All right. So I guess this is the chapter begins. No one's crazy. Now I need to take some water. This is some good stuff. See, this is type of fun I like. 10 minutes on the wash. Okay, 10 minutes on the wash. Okay. No one's crazy. You see, chapter 1. Your personal experiences with money make up maybe 1% of what's happening in the world, but maybe 80% of how you think the world works. Okay. Let me tell you about a problem. It might make you feel better about what you do with your money and less judgmental about what other people do with theirs. People do some crazy things with money, but no one is crazy. Here's the thing. People from different generations, raised by different parents who earned different incomes, held different values in different parts of the world, born into different economies, experiencing different job markets with different incentives and different degrees of luck, learn very different lessons. Everyone has their own unique experience with how the world works. For real, this is true. Your path and my path is not the same. And what you experience is more compelling than what you learn secondhand. So all of us, you, me, everyone, go through life anchored to a set of views about money, about how money works, that vary wildly from person to person. What seems crazy to you might make sense to me. This is a fact. The person who grew up in poverty thinks about risk and reward in ways the child of a wealthy banker cannot fathom if he tried. The person who grew up with inflation was high experience some women. The person who grew up when inflation was high experienced something the person who grew up with stable prices never had to. The stockbroker who lost everything during the Great Depression experienced something the tech worker basking in the glory of the late 1990s can't imagine. The Australian who hasn't seen a recession in 30 years have experienced something no American has ever. I mean, wait a minute, experienced something no American I'm messing up. The Australian who has seen a recession in 30 years, who hasn't seen a recession in 30 years, has experienced something no American ever has. There we go. Put that date on there. Okay, on and on. The list of experiences is endless. You know stuff about money that I don't, and vice versa. You go through life with different beliefs, goals, and forecasts than I do. That's not because one of us is smarter than the other or has better information. It's because we've had different lives shaped by different and equally persuasive experiences. Your personal experiences with money make up maybe 1 point some percent of what's happening in the world, but maybe 80% of how you think the world works. So equally smart people can disagree about how and why recessions happen, how you should invest your money, what you should prioritize, how much risk you should take, and so on. In this book on 1930s America, Frederick Lewis Allen wrote that the Great Depression marked millions of Americans inwardly for the rest of their lives. But there was a range of experiences. 25 years later, as he was running for president, John F. Kennedy was asked by a reporter what he remembered from the Depression. He remarked, "Yeah, 5 minutes left on that watch." Whew. Page 12 we on. I have no first-hand knowledge of the Depression. My family had one of the great fortunes of the world, and it was worth more than ever then. We had bigger houses, more servants. We traveled more. About the only thing that I saw directly was when my father hired some extra gardeners just to give them a job so they could eat. I really did not learn about the Depression until I read about it at Harvard. Wow. He was guarded. This was a major point in the 1960 election. How people thought, could someone with no understanding of the biggest economic story of the last generation be put in charge of the economy? It was, in many ways, overcome only by JFK's experience in World War II. That was the other most widespread emotional experience of the previous generation, something his primary opponent, Herbert Humphrey, didn't have. The challenge for us is that no amount of studying or open mindedness can genuinely recreate the power of fear and uncertainty. And I can read. Wait, I'm messing up. I can read about what it was like to lose everything during the Great Depression, but I don't have the emotional scars of those who actually experienced it, and the person who lived through it can't fathom why someone like me could come across as complacent about things like owning stocks. We see the world through a different lens. Spreadsheets can model the historic frequency of big stock market declines, but they can't model the feeling of coming home, looking at your kids, and wondering if you made a mistake that will impact their lives. Studying history makes you feel like you understand something, but until you've lived through it and personally felt its consequences, you may not understand it enough to change your behavior. We all think we know how the world works, but we all only experience a tiny sliver of it. As an investor, Michael Batnick says some lessons have to be experienced before they can be understood. We are all victims in every we are all victims in different ways to that truth. I don't know about that. An investor, Michael Batnick says some lessons have to be experienced before they can be understood. We're all victims in different ways to that truth. In 2006, economist, this is a hard one. Ulrich Mailminder, oh God, economist. The name, okay, this is how you spell his name: Ulrike, Mailminder, and Stefan Nagel from the National Bureau of Economic Research dug through 50 years of the Survey of Consumer Finances, a detailed look at what Americans do with their money. Dang, they've been studying our spending. Who, like, what that man named Tony Baker? Who knew? Who knew? Who knew they were studying the money on us, how we spend it? That's crazy. In theory, people should make investment decisions based on their goals and the characteristics of the investment options available to them at the time. But that's not what people do. The economists found that people's lifetime investment decisions are heavily anchored to their experiences, to the experiences those investors had in their own generation, especially experiences early in their adult life. If you grew up when inflation was high, you invested less of your money in bonds later in life compared to those who grew up when inflation was low. If you happen to grow up when the stock market was strong, you invested more of your money in stocks later in life compared to those who grew up when stocks were weak. Okay, gotta take a pause. Time for go get some, put the stuff in the thing, and we about to go put it in the dryer now. Come on. I'm gonna get this one over here. I can't believe people have left their clothes over here. That's crazy. Yeah. This right here. I'm calling. Da-da. Be with no one but you. Baby, I'm calling. Baby, I'm selfish. I want you something, something. I can't help it. That's John Lennon song. And something. It's an old school song. That was his first one. First hook. I'm calling something. Be with no one but me, baby. Na. Okay. I got that, but I'm gonna put this dirty blanket in here. I don't like the way that other one look. Stick to the ones pretty good. Put that liquid up in there. And that softener. Now later. See my stuff here. Okay. That's soft, cozy tonight. Hoo hoo hoo. Okay. Put that there. Push that up there. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. Get a little bit clean real good there. A little bit soapy up. Okay. Card. Normal wash. Press. Okay. Got that one down. I need the dryer sheets. 1, 2, 2. I don't want to run out. I don't want to have to go back to the house. No time soon. Oh, I guess we gotta push this here and leave this here. Push this stuff over here. Excuse me. That's over here. 28. Dry it on up. Fresh clothes, fresh clothes. Fresh clothes, fresh clothes. Clothes, fresh clothes. Fresh bedding, fresh bedding. Fresh bedding. Fresh bedding. Fresh bedding. Fresh bedding. Oh, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Fresh bedding. Alright. Put that in. Top one. Come on now. Pick it up. Alright. That's the first one in the dryer. Get the other load. Okay. Fresh, fresh, fresh. Fresh, fresh, fresh. Fresh, fresh. That old saying, you're not fully clean unless your that's fully clean. How many of y'all remember that? Okay. Got 2 more dryer sheets. Alright. The other one. The top. Heel of this one. The top. Mm-hmm. 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 Underclothes. Clean pants. Clean sheets. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do-do-do-do. Do-do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Voila. What? Voila. What? Voila. What? Voila. What? Voila. Huh? Try to know about that song. I don't know nothing about that song. Okay. Top 40. 45 minutes. Okay. Got that situated. Now we gotta work on these white clothes. Mm-hmm. Hustle hard. Stack paper. You see me. I hate her. I hate her. Hustle hard. Stack paper. You see me. I hate her. I hate her. Yeah. Okay. Get this here. Hustle hard. I put some bleach in this one. Got white clothes in here. Underclothes and socks. White ones. I love me a good white tee. White socks, white underclothes. It's a whole nother vibe to me. The cotton on the skin. Oh my lord. The cotton on the skin. It's such an enjoyable experience. Such an enjoyable. Let me see. We got this. Okay, shake it, shake it. Particles. Here's. Okay. Mm. Okay, let's see here. Some more clothes. Oh, more bed linen. 2 in here. Shake up, shake it. Shake them up, shake them up, shake them up, shake up. Oh shoot, it fell out. Shake them up, shake them up, shake them up, shake them. The t-shirt. Okay. Enough room. Let's see. Get a sheet, blue sheet. Put that in there. Woo. Let's see what we got in there. Anything at the bottom? Blankets. Let's see if we got room in here for this. Hopefully it fit in. Think so. Okay. Okay. One more. This one. That's the last load. This one. Mm-hmm. Okay. A little bit of this. This is getting low. Put some more water in there. Not that much in there. Close it. Put this up here. Wash. Okay. $12. How much left on here? Like $12.30 left on there. So we got this. Put that back in the bag. Bobby, we say these supplies. We don't play about that. Stretch every dollar. Gonna put some water in here. We got some more Snuggle liquid, but every drop, baby, will get used. Alright. Put that in there. Last drop. Put it all in there. And I think that should be good enough. And the garbage. Right? Okay. Put that up here. And got more dryer sheets at the house. I got a little trick I be doing. This is generic ones, but I had a Snuggle brand, and people be stealing. So I'll be putting the name brand stuff in this. Because I used to leave my stuff here. People be stealing. It's crazy. Let me see. How many sheets I got? Just enough? One. Yep. Just enough. I think I'm going to leave it in there. Put that there on this side. Okay, let's go back over to the side and read our book. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 loads. We are doing great. It is, what time is it? 5:45. Having their own generation. We're going back where we left off at. Psychology of Money book by Morgan Housel. And Housel is spelled Housel. Okay. So, wait a minute. I still got my mic there? Yeah, I still got my mic. Everything sound good in there? Y'all hear me clear in there? In the comments, y'all hear me? Okay. Here we go. So, it says, had in their own generation, especially experiences early in their adult life. If you grew up when inflation was high, you invested less of your money in bonds later in life compared to those who grew up when inflation was low. If you happened to grow up when the stock market was strong, you invested more of your money in stocks later in life compared to those who grew up when stocks were weak. The Economist wrote, our findings suggest that individual investors willing to bear risk depends on personal history, not intelligence or education or sophistication, just the dumb luck of when and where you were born. The Financial Times interviewed Bill Cross, the famed bond manager, in 2019. Gross admits that he would probably not be where he is today if he had been born a decade earlier or later. The piece said Gross' career coincided almost perfectly with a generational collapse in interest rates that gave bond prices a tailwind. That kind of thing doesn't just affect the opportunities you come across. It affects what you think about those opportunities. Wait a minute. It affects what you think about those opportunities when they're presented to you. To Gross, bonds were wealth. Generation bonds. My grandma used to talk about bonds. I heard my mom talk about, my grandma used to be into that. Bonds. I never hear people talk about bonds anymore. To his father's generation, who grew up with and endured higher inflation, they might be seen as wealth incinerators. Wealth incinerators. Ooh, okay. Look that up when I get home. Oh, each of those washers is like 38 minutes. This dryer is 48 minutes. 48 each dryer. So now the dryers, one is 31 minutes left. Dryer 2, 33 minutes left. And the wash, 25 minutes for the first wash, 33 minutes for the other wash. There you go. So there we go. Let me see. The differences in how people have experienced money are not small, even amongst those who might think are pretty similar. Take stocks. If you were born in 1970, the S&P 500 increased almost tenfold, adjusted for inflation, during your teens and 20s. That's an amazing return. If you were born in 1950, the market went literally nowhere in your teens and 20s adjusted for inflation. Two groups of people, separated by chance of their birth year, go through life with a completely different view on how the stock market works. What stocks did you wait a minute? What stocks did it? Oh my God, my bad. What? This is the thing I'm trying to read. Yeah. What stocks did in your teens and 20s? What stocks did? Oh, did. What stocks did in your teens and 20s? There we go. Or inflation. If you were born in 1960s America, inflation during your teens and 20s, your young, impressionable years when you're developing a base of knowledge about how the economy works, sent prices up more than 30-fold. That's a lot. You remember gas lines, getting paychecks that stretched noticeably less far than the ones before them. But if you were born in 1990, inflation has been so low for your whole life that it's probably never crossed your mind. Da, 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 da. Okay. What inflation did to prices in your teens and 20s? America's nationwide unemployment in November 2009 was around 10%, but the unemployment rate for African American males 16 to 19 without a high school diploma was 49%. For Caucasian females over the age 45 with a college degree, it was 4%. Local stock markets in Germany and Japan were wiped out during World War II. Entire regions were bombed out. At the end of the war, German firms only produced enough food to provide the country's citizens with 1,000 calories a day. Compared to that, to the U.S., where the stock market more than doubled from 1941 through the end of 1945, and the economy was the strongest it had been in almost 2 decades. No one should expect members of these groups to go through the rest of their lives thinking the same thing about inflation or the stock market or unemployment or money in general. No one should expect them to respond to financial information the same way. No one should assume they are influenced by the same incentives. No one should expect them to trust the same sources of advice. No one should expect them to agree on what matters, what's worth it, what's likely to happen next, and what's the best path to I mean and what the best path forward is. Their view of money was formed in different worlds, and when that's the case, a view about money that one group of people think is outrageous can make perfect sense to another. A few years ago, the New York Times did a story on the working condition of Foxconn, the massive Taiwanese electronics manufacturer. The conditions are often atrocious. Readers were rightly upset, but a fascinating response to the story came from the nephew of a Chinese worker who wrote in the comments section, "My aunt worked several years in what America calls sweatshops. It was hard work, long hours, small wage, poor working conditions. Do you know what my aunt did before she worked in one of these factories? She was a prostitute." Oh shoot. No, he did not. The idea of, oh shoot. The idea of working in a sweatshop compared to that old lifestyle is an improvement. And in my opinion, I know that my aunt would rather be exploited by an evil capitalist boss for a couple of dollars than have her body be exploited by several men for pennies. That is why I am upset by many Americans thinking we do not have the same opportunities as the West. Our governmental infrastructure is different. The country is different. Yes, factory is hard labor. Could it be better? Yes, but only when you compare such to American jobs. I don't know what to make of this. Part of me wants to argue fiercely, but part of me wants to understand, but mostly it's an example of how different experiences can lead to vastly different views when topics that one sided intuitively think should be black and white. Yeah, that's deep. That's very, very deep. I'll make sure I bring my bookmark next time. Every decision people make with money is satisfied by taking the information they have at the moment, plugging it into their unique mental model of how the world works. Those people can be misinformed. They can have incomplete information. They can be bad at math. They can be persuaded by rotten marketing. They can have no idea what they're doing. They can misjudge the consequences of their actions. Oh, can they ever? But every financial decision a person makes sense to them in that moment and checks the boxes they need to check. They tell themselves a story about what they're doing and why they're doing it. And that story has been shaped by their own unique experiences. Take a simple example: lottery tickets. Americans spend more than movies, video games, music, sporting events, and books combined. And who buys them? Mostly poor people. Ooh. Let me read that again, yo. Take a simple example: lottery tickets. Americans spend more on them than movies, video games, music, sporting events, and books combined. And who buys them? Mostly poor people. Oh, wow. The lowest income household in the U.S. on average spend $412 a year on lotto tickets, four times the amount of those in the highest income groups. 40% of Americans cannot come up with $400 in emergency money, which is to say, those buying $400 in lotto tickets are by and large the same people who say they couldn't come up with $400 in emergency. They're blowing their safety nets on something with a 1 million chance of hitting it big. That seems crazy to you. It probably seems crazy to you, too. I mean, that seems crazy to me. It probably seems crazy to you, too. But I'm not in the lowest income group. You're likely not either. So it's hard for many of us to intuitively grasp the subconscious reason of low income lottery ticket buyers. But but strained a little. And you can imagine it going something like this. We live paycheck to paycheck. Saving seems out of reach. Our prospects for much higher wages seem out of reach. And we can't afford nice vacations, new cars, health insurance, or homes in safe neighborhoods. We can't put our kids to college without crippling debt. Most of the stuff you people who read finance books either have now or have a good chance of getting, we don't buy. Buying a lottery ticket is the only time in our lives we can hold a tangible dream of getting the good stuff that you already have and take for granted. We are paying for a dream, and you may not understand that because you are already living a dream. That's why we buy more tickets than you do. Oh, wow. That's crazy. All right, so say you don't have to agree with this reasoning. Buying lotto tickets when you're broke is still a bad idea, but I can kind of understand why lotto ticket sales persist. In that idea, what you're doing seems crazy, but I kind of understand why you're doing it. Uncovers the root of many of financial decisions. Few people make financial decisions purely with a spreadsheet. They make them at the dinner table or in a company meeting. Places where personal history, your own unique view of the world, ego, pride, marketing, odd incentives are scrambled together into a narrative that works for you. Another important point that helps explain why money decisions are so difficult and why there is so much misbehavior is to recognize how new this topic is. Money has been around a long time. King Elias of Lydia, now part of Turkey, is thought to have created the first official currency in 600 BC. But the modern foundation of money decisions, saving and investing, is based around concepts that are practically infants. Take retirement. At the end of 2018, there was $27 trillion in U.S. retirement accounts, making it the main driver of the common investor saving and investing decisions. Let's see, 5. But the entire concept of being entitled to retirement is at most 2 generations old. Before World War II, most Americans worked until they died. That was the expectation and the reality. The labor force participation rate of men aged 65 and over was above 50% until the 1940s. Social Security aimed to change this, but its initial benefits were nothing close to a proper pension. When Ida Mae Fuller cashed the first Social Security check in 1940, it was for $22.54 or $416 adjusted for inflation. It was not until the 1980s that the average Social Security check for retirees exceeded $1,000 a month, adjusted for inflation. More than a quarter of Americans over the age of 65 were classified by the Census Bureau as living in poverty until the in the late 1960s. There is a widespread there is a widespread belief along the lines of everyone used to have a private pension, but this is widely exaggerated. The Employee Benefit Research Institute explains only a quarter of those aged 65 or older had pension income in 1975. Among that lucky minority, only 15% of household income came from a pension. The New York Times wrote in 1955 about the growing desire but continued inability to retire. To rephrase an old saying, everyone talks about retirement, but apparently very few do anything about it. It was not until the 1980s that the idea that everyone deserves and should have a dignified retirement took hold. And the way to get that dignified retirement ever since has been the expectation that everyone will save and invest their own money. Let me reiterate how new this idea is. The 401k, the backbone saving vehicle of American retirement, did not exist until 1978. Really? Okay, 1978. The Roth IRA was not born until 1998. If it were a person, it would be barely old enough to drink. It could surprise no one that many of us are bad at saving and investing for retirement. We're not crazy. We're all just newbies. Same goes for college. The share of Americans over the age 25 with a bachelor's degree has gone from less than 1 in 20 in 1940 to I in 4 by 2015. The average college tuition over that time rose more than fourfold adjusted for inflation. Something so big and so important hitting society so fast explains why. For example, so many people have poor decisions with student loans over the last 20 years. There is no decade of accumulated experience to even attempt to learn from. We're winging it. Yeah, we are winging it. I've been winging it most of my life. But now it's time to move better than that. Or smarter, not harder. Same for index funds, which are less than 50 years old, and hedge funds, didn't take off until the late, I mean, which didn't take off until the last 25 years. Even widespread use of consumer debt, mortgages, credit cards, car loans did not take off until after World War II, when the GI Bill made it easier for millions of Americans to borrow. Dogs were domesticated 10,000 years ago and still retain some behaviors of their wild ancestors. Yet here we are, with between 20 and 50 years of experience in the modern financial system, hoping to be perfectly acclimated. Okay, got this. Mark the date. This is page 21 we on, guys. Uh-oh. Chapter 2 is about to come out. Let me get some water. Finish reading that. What does it say? Dryer says 16, 18 minutes left. Washer say 8 minutes and 10 minutes left for washing. Mm-hmm. Woo. Here we go. For a topic that is influenced by emotions versus fact, this is a problem, and it helps explain why we don't always do what we're supposed to with money. We all do crazy stuff with money because we're all relatively new to this game, and what looks crazy to you might make sense to me. But no one is crazy. We all make decisions based on our own unique experiences that seem to make sense to us in a given moment. Now, let me tell you a story about how Bill Gates got rich. Okay. Chapter 2, Luck and Risk. Nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. Really? Really? We're going to see about that. Luck and risk are siblings. They are both the reality that every outcome in life is guided by forces other than individual effort. NYU professor Scott Galloway has a there we go, has a related idea that is so important to remember when judging success, both your own and others. Nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. Bill Gates went to one of the only high schools in the world that had a computer. The story of how Lakeside School, just outside Seattle, even got a computer is remarkable. Bill Dugall was a World War II Navy pilot turned high school math and science teacher. He believed that book study wasn't enough without real world experience. He also realized that we need to know something about computers when we get to college, recalled late Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen. 1968, Duggar petitioned the Lakeside School Mothers Club to use the proceeds from its initial rummage sale, about 3,000, to lease a teletype Model 30 computer hooked up to the General Electric mainframe eternal for computers time sharing. The whole idea of time sharing only gave invented in 1965. Gates later said someone was pretty forward looking. Most university graduates did not have a computer anywhere near us. Waves of the future. You gotta come on, get caught up. You gotta get caught up. Dun, 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 get caught up. Don't know what you're doing. Something, na 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 na. Got caught up, got me feeling it. Caught up, you can't hold up, something. Get caught up. Mm-hmm. 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 Na 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 na. Uh-huh. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Got me feeling it. All right, let me see. Advanced, next page, page 26. Advanced as Bill Gates had access to in eighth grade, and he couldn't get enough of it. Gates was 13 years old in 1968 when he met classmate Paul Allen. Allen was also obsessed with the school's computer, and the two hit it off. Lakeside's computer wasn't part of its general curriculum. It was an independent study program. Paul and Bill could toy away with the thing that at their leisure, letting their creativity run wild. After school late into the night on weekends, they quickly became computing experts. During one of their late night sessions, Allen recalled Gates showing him a Fortune magazine and saying, What do you think it's like to run a Fortune 500 company?" Allen said he had no idea. "Maybe we'll have our own computer company someday," Gates said. "Microsoft is now worth more than $1 trillion. A little quick math. In 1968, there was roughly around 303 million high school aged people in the world, according to the UN. About 18 million of them lived in the United States. About 270,000 of them lived in Washington State. A little over 1,000 of them lived in the Seattle area. And only about 300 of them attended Lakeside School. Start with 103 million and end with 300. One in a million high school age students attended high school that had the combination of cash and foresight to buy a computer. Bill Gates happened to be one of them. Gates is not shy about what this meant. If there had been no Lakeside, there would have been no Microsoft, he told the school's graduation class in 2005. Gates is staggeringly smart, even more hardworking, and as a teenager had a vision for computers that even most seasoned computer executives couldn't grasp. He also had a 1 in a million head start by going to school at Lakeside. Now let me tell you about Gates' friend Kevin Evans. Kevin Evans. He experienced an equally powerful dose of luck's close sibling, risk. Bill Gates and Paul Allen became household names thanks to Microsoft success. But back at Lakeside, there was a third member of this gang of high school computer prodigies. Kevin Evans, Bill Gates became best friends in 8th grade. Evans was, by Gates' own account, the best student in the class. The two talked on the phone a ridiculous amount, Gates recalls in the documentary Inside Bill's Brain. I still know Kent's phone number, he says. Evans was as skilled with computers as Gates and Allen. Lakeside once struggled to manually put together the school's class schedule, a maze of complexity to get hundreds of students the classes they need at times that don't conflict with other courses. The school tasked Bill and Kent children by any measure to build a computer problem to solve the problem. It works. And unlike Paul Allen and Kent shared Bill's business mind in his ambition, Kent always had the big briefcases like a lawyer's briefcase, Gates recalled. We were always scheming about what we do 5 or 6 in the future. Should we go by CEOs? What kind of impact could you have? Should we go to generals? Should we go be ambassadors? Whatever it was, Bill and Kent knew they'd do it together. After reminiscing on this friendship with Kent, Gates trails off. He would have kept working together. I'm sure we would have gone to college together. Kent could have been a found partner of Microsoft with Gates and Allen. But it would even happen. Ken died in the mountaineering accident before he guarded high school. No, I'm messing up. But it would even But it would never happen. Kent died in a mountaineering accident before he graduated high school. That ain't it. Every year, there are around 3 dozen mountaineering deaths in the United States. The odds of being killed on a mountain in a high school air are roughly 1 in a million. Bill Gates experienced 1 in a million luck by ending up at take the intermission because one of them is down. One of them is down. Do 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 do. Dum dum do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Freddy's dead. That's what I say. Do do do. Freddy's dead. That's what I say. Freddy's dead. That's what I say. Said Freddy's dead. Yeah, that's what I said. Freddy's dead. What's it gonna be? Oh, something, 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 something. No, 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 no. Oh, coming in our life. We can make it if we try. Whoa, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Da, 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 da. Oh, oh, oh. Don't let go. Okay, get some water. Got 5 minutes left on this washer right here. 5 minutes over here. See what time it is. 6:17 p.m. Yeah, hungry now. 4 or 5. It's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Back to reading, guys. We left off at page 28. Kevin, let me see. Lakeside. Kent Evans experienced 1 in a million risk by never getting to finish what he and Gates set out to achieve. The same force, the same magnitude, working in opposite directions. Luck and risk are both the reality that every outcome in life is guided by forces other than individual effort. They are so similar that you can't believe in one without equally respecting the other. They both happen because the world is too complex to allow 100% of your actions to dictate 100% of your outcomes. They are driven by the same thing. You are one person in a game with 7 billion other people and infinite moving parts. The accidental impact of action outside of your control can be more consequential than the ones you consciously take. But both are so hard to measure and hard to accept that they too often go overlooked. For every Bill Gates, there is a Kent Evans who was just as skilled and driven but ended up on the other side of life roulette. If you give luck and risk their proper respect, you realize that when judging people's financial success, both your own and others, it's never as good as bad as it seems. Okay. Years ago, I asked economist Robert Shiller, who won the Nobel Prize in economics, what do you want to know about investing that we can't know? The exact role of luck in successful outcomes, he answered. I love that response because no one actually thinks luck doesn't play a role in financial success. But since it's hard to quantify luck and rude to suggest people's success is owed to it, the default stance is often to implicitly ignore luck as a factor of success. If I say there is a billion, there are a billion investors in the world, by sheer chance, would you expect 10 of them to become billionaires predominantly off luck? You will reply, of course. When the, but when if I ask you to name those investors to their face, you will likely back down. When judging others, attributing success to luck makes you look jealous and mean, even if we know it exists. And when judging yourself, attributing success to luck can be too demoralizing to accept. Economist Bhaskar Mazumdar has shown that incomes among brothers are more correlated than height or weight. If you are rich and tall, your brother is more likely to also be rich than he is tall. I think most of us intuitively know this is true. The quality of your education, the doors that open for you, are heavily linked to your parents' social economic status. But find me two rich brothers, and I'll show you two men who do not think this study's findings apply to them. Okay, we're going to pause that because now we got another load to put in the dryer. Okay. Got one for the other the bedding. I'm going for the bedding. And bedding in there. Towel. Let's put a towel and a shirt. One right there. Okay. Close that up. One right here. Make sure this stuff dry real good. You don't want no wet clothes. You don't want no mildew. Yes, sirree. Let's go. Hmm. There we go. Okay. Close that up. Hit the button. Okay. And the other one. $3.10. That's on here. I did good. Gotta make one load there at home. But I'm doing way good. Another good, what, $10 maybe. That do what it do. As they say. Get all that out of there. That lint, where that lint at? All the things in the dryer lint. One is clean. Okay, got that done. Over here. This one. Got everything in here. There's that. All the clean stuff. Let me see. Bras and socks. This out of here. Not that bad. This one. Bigger. That many lint. Okay. Drop this stuff. Gotta work with this stuff. Ooh. Okay. Start putting it in these totes. Stuffing as much as you can in these totes. Whew. Okay. Clean towels, clean towels. Girls. Mm-hmm. 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 I should put this in here. This is for clothes. Can I do both? And then put this here. I think that might work. Girls and bros. Okay. Hold up these shirts. Nice and hot. Hot it. Hotty hot. Hot. Love it when it's hot, fresh out the dryer. Hotty hot, hot, hot. Yes, it is. Clean pajamas around the house. Pants. This is lounging pants. Ain't nothing like some good old lounging pants. Ooh, yeah. I had these pants for a long time. I was telling my friend I gotta get certain new clothes because some of my elastic in my pants is like falling down, like they not, you know. Trying to get some more. I can't get away. So much pressure in the air. So much pressure in the air. I can't get away. Something, something. Na, 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 na. I can't get away. Na, 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 na. Do, 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 do. There's so much pressure in the air. I can't get away. Something, something. Do, 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 do. Da, na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. So much pressure in the air. I can't get away. Na, 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 na. Last time that I checked, something nigga that. Last time that I checked. Last time that I checked with the dryers, we got 20 something minutes, 37 minutes, 37 minutes. Okay, let's get this going. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Get it started. Bum, 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 mama, make me about I could you to stop mama, you live in yours and I could teach you. I have the dog, warm it up, I'm thinking about the yard in my yard in my I could teach you if I have to try and I want to the yard it's better than yard in my better than yard I could teach you if you have to try warm it up boys are waiting warm it up I said I'm just shaking, got about to the yard, and my it's better than yours, and it's better than yours. I can teach you about to try, and I need to get about to the yard, and my it's better than yours, and it's better than yours. I can teach you to try, for me, the boys are waiting, hold it up, Hey, bro, nigga, boys. What's so bad, boys? Hey, damn, I love it. Something like the life. It's just like it. Yeah. My nigga, boy. What's so bad, boys? Damn, I love the life. What's so bad, boys? Boys. Ala. Ala. Not my daddy. Stunting like my daddy. Not stunting like my daddy. I'm stunner. Oh, I said, what you doing? Get your money. Hey, stunting like my daddy. Stunting like my daddy. I'm stunting like my daddy. Oh, stunting like my daddy. My leather so soft. So. Something I go so hard. Yes, I go so hard. My love so soft. My leather so soft. Something. I go so hard. Yes, I go so hard. My leather so soft. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Man, nigga, boys. That's too bad, boys. Ain't another way you do something I can stop it. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I can have it. It's too bad, boys. Oh, damn, I really love it. I can stop it. Mm-mm. I can have it. Hustle back, boy. Mm-mm. Dang, I love it. Ain't you something wrong? I can stop it. Mm-mm. Hustle back, boys. There they go, boys. Damn, I love it. Think you think it's good. Like, so another 30, 35 minutes. We here. Hustle bag, boy. And hustle, boy. I used to be wanting to be a DJ. I used to sell mixed CDs in school. I used to make mixtapes my own self from the radio. I didn't have the mixtape equipment, but I made my own little mixtape, radio mixtape, other mixtape. I used to dub tapes. My brother taught me how to do certain stuff like that. And I taught myself how to do it too. Especially with the VHS tapes. I used to copy those, copy over them. Like put the little toilet paper in the little slot, little square slot to the right, and record over them for my music videos, big ticket, the basements video, Rap City, Video Soul, all that good stuff. Teen Summit. Mm-hmm. Those are good times for real. Yeah, I want Green Chris to finish that song. It be so refreshing when you link up with the real. It's all that capping irritates my allergies for real. I want him to mix it. It be so refreshing when you link up with the real. It's all that capping irritates my allergies. Y'all ain't ready for that one. Y'all ain't ready for that one. I'm like, it be so refreshing when you link up with the real. Cause all that capping irritates my allergies for real. Hey yo, boy, Francis, you really gotta chill. I can help you, my brother, until I make a quarter meal. And when I do, I'm headed to Ghana here for real. Or I might send out wire transfer and watch how you elevate for real. Then pay Leslie and Mari back for the unsettled deal. Yo, I do this for the Virgos plus the real. JJP stay raw in the cut with the facts for real. I shine like shine and believe for real. And I'ma make the millions like Alicia Keys for real. Yeah, for real. Ha ha! Y'all not ready. Y'all not ready. Y'all not ready. That thing that this thing. Cooler, 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 cooler. Yes, yes, yes. And we're gonna go back to reading. Got one bag I gotta fill up. It's gonna be open. Mm. This will be neverlasting love. This will be forever, forever, forever. This will be. This will be. All right, here we go. All right, so let's go back to the reading. The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Housel is spelled Housel. On page 29, and I left off at failure, which can be anything from bankruptcy to not meeting a personal goal, is equally abused. Did failed businesses not try hard enough? Were bad investments not thought through well enough? Are wayward careers due to laziness? Sometimes, yes, of course. But how much? It's so hard to know. Everything worth pursuing has less than 100% odds of succeeding. And risk is just what happens when you end up on the unfortunate side of that equation. Just as with luck, the story gets too hard, too messy, too complex if we try to pick apart how much of an outcome was a conscious decision versus a risk. Say I buy a stock and 5 years later it's gone nowhere. It's possible that I made a bad decision by buying it in the first place. It's also possible that I made a good decision that had a 80% chance of making money, and I just happened to end up on the side of the unfortunate 20%. How do I know which is which? Did I make a mistake, or did I just experience the reality of risk? I think that's the reality of risk. It's possible to statistically measure whether some decisions were wise. But in the real world, day to day, we simply don't. It's too hard. We prefer simple stories, which are easy but often devastatingly misleading. There's a lot of misleading people out here. After spending years around investors and business leaders, I've I've come to realize that someone else's failure is usually attributed to bad decisions, while your own failures are usually chalked up to the dark side of risk. When judging your failures, I'm likely to prefer a clean and simple story of cause and effect. Yep, I'm learning about that cause and effect. That's my drink right there. That book, I love that book too. Cause and effect. Because I don't know what's going on inside your head. You had a bad outcome, so it must have been caused by a bad decision. It's a story that makes the most sense to me. But when judging myself, I can make up a wild narrative justifying my past decisions and attributing bad outcomes to risk. The cover of Forbes magazine does not celebrate poor investors who made good decisions but happen to experience the unfortunate side of risk. But it almost certainly celebrates rich investors who made okay or even reckless decisions and happened to get lucky. Both flip the same coin that happened to land on a different side. The dangerous part of this is that we're all trying to learn about what works and what doesn't with money. What investing strategies work? Which ones don't? What business strategies work? Which ones don't? How do you get rich? How do you avoid being poor? We tend to seek out these lessons by observing successes and failures and saying, do what she did, avoid what he did. If we had a magic wand and we would find out If we had a magic wand, we would find out exactly what proportion of these outcomes were caused by actions that are repeatable versus the role of random risk and luck that swayed those actions one way or the other. But we don't have a magic wand. We have brains that prefer easy answers without much appetite for nuisance. So identifying the traits illuminate uh, we should emulate or avoid can be agonizingly hard. Agonizingly, what is that? You gotta look up that word. Agonizingly, agonizingly. Let me tell you another story of someone who, like Bill Gates, was wildly successful, but whose success is hard to pin down as because by luck or skill. Amen. Let me tell you another story of someone who, like Bill Gates, was wildly successful, but whose success is hard to pin down as being caused by luck or skill. Cornelius Vanderbilt had just finished a series of business deals to expand his railroad empire. One of his business advisors leaned into the tell I mean One of his business advisors leaned in to tell Vanderbilt that every transaction he agreed to broke the law. My God, John, said Vanderbilt, you don't suppose you can run a railroad in accordance with the statutes of the state of New York, do you? My first thought when reading this was that attitude is why he was so successful. Laws didn't accommodate railroads during Vanderbilt's day, so he said, to hell with it, and went ahead anyway. Vanderbilt was wildly successful, so it's tempting to view his law floating, which was notorious and vital to success, as sage wisdom. That scrappy visionary let nothing get in his way. But how dangerous is that, analyst? No sane person would recommend flagrant crime as an entrepreneurial trait. You can easily imagine Vanderbilt's story turning out much different. An outlaw whose young company collapsed under court order. So we have a problem here. You can praise Vanderbilt for flaunting the law with as much passion as you criticize Aaron for doing the same. Perhaps one got lucky by avoiding the arm of the law, while the other found itself on the side of risk. John D. Rockefeller is similar. His frequent circumventing of the law, a judge once called his company no better than a common thief, is often portrayed by historians as cunning business smarts. Maybe it was, but when does the narrative shift from you didn't let outdated laws get in the way of innovation to you committed a crime, or how little would the story have to shift for the narrative to have turned from Rockefeller was a genius, tried to learn from his success, to Rockefeller was a criminal, tried to learn from his business failures? Very little. What do I care about the law? Vanderbilt once said, ain't I got the power? Oh, he used to talk a lot of stuff, Vanderbilt. Okay. Okay, Vanderbilt. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, Vanderbilt. He did, and it worked. But it's easy to imagine those being the last words of a story with a different outcome. The line between bold and reckless can be thin. When we don't give risk and luck their proper billing, it's often invisible. Benjamin Graham is known as one of the greatest investors of all time, the father of value, investing in the early mentor of the Warren Buffett. While the majority of Benjamin Graham's investing success was due to owning a numerous chunk of Geico stock, which by his own admission broke nearly every diversification rule that Graham himself laid out in his famous text. Where does the thin line between bold and reckless fall here? I don't know. Graham wrote about his Geico Bonza, one lucky break or one supremely shrewd decision. Can we tell them apart? Not easily. We simply think Mark Zuckerberg is a genius for turning down Yahoo's 2006 $1 billion offer to buy his company. He saw the future and stuck to his guns. But people criticized Yahoo. With as much passage for turning down its own buyout offer from Microsoft, those fools should have crashed out while they could. What is the lesson for entrepreneurs here? Have no idea because risk and luck are so hard to pin down. There are so many examples of this. Countless fortunes and failures owe their outcome to leverage. The best and worst managers drive their employees as hard as they can. The customer is always right, and the customers don't know what they want. Are both accepted business wisdom. The line between inspiringly bold and foolishly reckless can be a millimeter thick and only visible with hindsight. Risk and luck are double doppelgangers. This is not an easy problem to solve. The difficulty in identifying what is luck, what is skill, what is risk is one of the biggest problems we face when trying to learn about the best way to manage money. Get your head up. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things are get right. So far, we got 1,708 steps. Wish I had some gum or something. 18 minutes left for this. But two things can point you in a better direction. Be careful who you praise and admire. Be careful who you look down upon and wishing to avoid becoming. Or just be careful when assuming that 100% of outcomes can be attributed to effort and decision. After my son was born, I wrote him a letter that said, in part, some people are born into families that encourage education, others are against it. Some are born into flourishing economies, encouraging of entrepreneurship. Others are born into war and destitution. I want you to be successful. I want you to earn it. But realize that not all success is due to hard work. Not all poverty is due to laziness. Keep this in mind when judging people, including yourself. Therefore, focus less on specific individuals and case studies and more on broad patterns. Study a specific person can be dangerous because we tend to study extreme examples, the billionaires, the CEOs, the massive fairs that dominate the news. The extreme examples are often the least applicable to other situations, given their complexity. The more extreme the outcome, the less likely you can apply its lessons to your own life. Because the more likely the outcome was influenced by extreme ends of luck or risk, you will get closer to actionable takeaways by looking for broad patterns of success and failure. Mm. The more common the pattern, the more applicable it might be to your life. Trying to emulate Warren Buffett's investment success is hard because his results are so extreme that the role of luck in his lifetime performance is very likely high, and luck isn't something you can relatably emulate. By realizing as well, see in chapter 7 that people who control over their time tend to be happier in life is a broad and common enough observation that you can do something with it. My favorite historian, Frederick Lewis Allen, spent his career depicting the life of the average medium American, how they lived, how they changed, what they did for work, what they ate for dinner, etc. There are more relevant lessons to take away from this kind of broad observation than there there are in studying the extreme characters that tend to dominate the news. Ooh, it's almost time. When rich people do crazy things, well, Miss we oh, it's about to charge out. Guys. Got a little power mode. Hey guys. Alright, so we've been on here for 2 hours and 36 minutes and some change. I thank you for being here. This is part 1. Hopefully I'll be able to do something because I don't know. But it's about to die and I gotta turn it off. I don't want it to die all the way out like that. Alright, toodles.